Morning. It's very cold. Well, cold for a Queenslander anyway. 13 degrees. It's the coldest it's been so far. I think yesterday was the first day of winter. So, it's hard to get used to, especially when you're just trying to get back into your routine like I am. Going back finally to the gym for the first time today after hurting my shoulder, which is awesome, and hopefully trying to get back to jiu-jitsu next week as well. It's not 100%. I'm only 4 weeks out from hurting my AC joint, but I need to get back into it specifically for my routine. It's just something that I really, really need to do, which is what I wanted to talk about today. Because I've come across a couple of, spoken to a couple of friends this week that have had some issues at the moment, just for various things and different reasons, which I won't go into. And after sort of having a quick conversation with them, it becomes pretty apparent that they don't have some type of routine that they stick to, or they do, but it's kind of a loose routine and it's not super strict, which, you know, I went for most of my life and for years and years and years without having a really strict routine, and it's something that the older I get, the more value I see in really having a really structured and routinous day. So I've broken my mornings right down to the time I get up, structured out the first couple of hours for things that I specifically need to do. And I won't go into super detail about what I do, but it's the reason it's so important, because there's such a long time where I was like, I don't need to, write things down and structure my day and specific days and write down what I need to do in the morning and make a list. And I've got a really good memory, so I'm the type of person that can just put everything in my head and be like, yeah, I can get those things done. But more often than not, you don't get them done. It causes and creates stress because you feel like you've got a million things on your plate, and you've got a million things that you need to do. But rather than just making a list, you're just flying by the seat of your pants and trying to get it done. So a weekly list is really, really important for me for this, and there's different types of lists you can have. Courtney and I both have lists which are goals, like they're monthly goals of things we want to achieve. We've got like long-term goals of things that we want to achieve, and then more recently I've started to break up my daily lists or weekly lists into two different parts. So things that I have to do for work and professionally, and then things that I have to do personally on top of that. And these things can come down to being as benign and simple as make sure you kiss Courtney today. Make sure you spend half an hour with Teddy and play with him consciously without your phone. All these little things, because they add so much value to your life, because Courtney and Teddy are something that I'm really, really grateful for. And that's something else I add to the list as well every morning is I do quick meditation. I obviously have the gym in there. I usually try to meditate before the gym, and I do a little bit of breath work, which then is followed by focusing on three main things that I'm super grateful in my life, and sort of really visualizing those things as I'm thinking about how grateful I am for them. So they give me a nice, like, funny feeling in my tummy. And it's so important because when, like I said, if you're not creating that list and structuring your day, it's like everything that you have goes into a giant ball. And when I visualize it, to me, it's like, like those game shows where they chuck you inside a room and they turn the air on and the dollar bills are like flying everywhere and you're trying to grab which ones you want to grab. That's what it's like when you don't make a list, because you've got all this stuff that you need to do and it's just lumped into one spot, whether it's your head or whatever it is. And then you're trying to nitpick every single thing that you need to get done that day, and just grabbing and clutching at it, and then you have no time frame to it. So one thing doesn't get started properly, one thing doesn't get finished properly, and by the time you get to the end of the day, you feel like you've done so much and you're pretty exhausted and you're tired. but then you also feel like you've done nothing at the same time because some things don't get completed, and then it's hard to get to sleep. Throws out your sleep structure as well. So when you write things out in a list and structure your day by time, so getting up at the same time every day, and I've figured out the more I do this, the earlier that I'm getting up now, because I'm figuring out I've got these extra hours in the morning where I can tick a few more things off. It opens my day right up. It takes stress off me, gives me time to do more things and complete other tasks. And by the time I get to the afternoon and night time, I feel accomplished and I feel like I've done the things that I need to do. So I can spend time with Teddy, spend time with Courtney, and really try and connect with them as best we can, which is something we're still working on because Courtney and I have been pretty busy lately. So we tend to at night time trying to address some personal things and some business things as well. Like people still reach out to Courtney at night. So we're on our phones a little bit, which is something that I want to try and mitigate, but that's, it's just a goal that we have to try and reduce that, spend more time, be more conscious with Teddy. But in saying that, Teddy also gets to spend a lot of time with both of us anyway. But we just sorry, I'm still like real croaky from COVID. It's been like 2.5 weeks since I had it. So yeah, when it's structured like that, it's so linear that it gives you time during the day, and it really reduces stress, which is such a big thing, which is why I feel I used to get so stressed out, is because I never structured my day properly. I never wrote out lists properly. I was always like, yep, I've got the memory to do this and complete this. That's completely fine. And I would spend my whole day, like I said, in that ball, just clutching at things I needed to do. I'd never get things completed properly. And then I'd get to my nighttime, and then my mind would just run crazy with the things that I'd forgotten to do, or things that I think that I need to do the next day. And then I would just add them to the next day's ball and just throw it in there. Whereas now, because it's such a linear structural line, I know that between 6 and 6:30 I get my meditation, breathwork and gratefulness in, and then from 6:30 my latest list is just to try and make a video when I can, when I get the time, and some days I just wake up and I just don't have an idea or a topic to talk about, and that's why there goes a few days between videos. And I just want, when I make one, to have some decent value and information in it, rather than just sort of vlogging myself and talking crap. And then obviously now, like I said, today's the first day back at the gym, so the gym will be like 7 to 7:45. 7:45 to 8 is I pick up my coffee, or I come home and make my coffee. 8 till 9 is I go through my list for the day, for work day, for things I need to do personally, and then by 9 o'clock I'm full swing into work. And this has just given me so much freedom in my life that it's really worth talking about, because like I said, I've been in touch with a couple of people recently, and they are having issues on different scales of things, and it's not something I'm going to go into, but it's like something that there's majorly affecting their life on one end or the other end. And because they've got those added thoughts and stresses and traumas and whatever it is in between that, and people can probably relate to this, whether you've got a sick kid or a sick family member, or there's something at work that is bothering you, or something at home that is bothering you, that takes up time, energy and thought processes. So when your day is structured for the things that need to be done and important to be done, and you can tick those off in those time gaps or those periods of time, then it opens up freedom of time to sit down and process and think about maybe an issue or a problem that you need to solve. And then once that's done and solved, or needs to be done and solved, you write that down as well. You write that list down as well. And the importance of writing things down, I can't talk about enough. And it's something that I struggled with for such a long time. But in the last at least 18 months, Courtney and I have really focused on, we've got a big whiteboard, we write stuff down, we structure our life. We've got monthly goals, we've got yearly goals, we've got long-term goals, we've got daily goals, and it sounds like it's a bit like, if you walked into our house and see this whiteboard, there's just things written everywhere that in lists and with goals and customers and all that sort of thing, and you'd think, oh wow, like these guys are nuts, who've got so much stuff there written down and so much stuff to try and focus on. But all it does is unconsciously get the shit done that you need to get done. You'd be amazed that you write down 5 things, and just from writing them down and looking at them, you're like, okay, these are the things I need to get done. Then when you go out into the big wide world during your day and you come across something where you're like, oh, that's the thing I had to tick off that list that I wrote down, you get it done. You don't even have to look at it every single day. You'll find that 5 days goes by and you've ticked off 5 things totally unconsciously. And that works with, like I said, to-do lists for your day, whether it's personally, to-do lists for your day, whether it's professionally, whether it's a goal you had for the week, fitness-wise or health-wise, or a routine that you wanted to keep, or supplements you wanted to take. Whatever that is, you'll find that you'll unconsciously tick it off just by writing it down. So that's my little golden nugget today that I've been thinking about a lot, just especially after having a couple of conversations with friends this week and asking them the question how structured their day is, and it wasn't as structured as what it needed to be. And I know it's hard, like with Courtney and I. Courtney is a person that loves to sleep in, she always has, but her life has honestly changed exponentially, particularly in the last 6 months, maybe a little bit longer. So she gets up at 4:30 every day. She's at the gym by 5. By 5:45 she's finished the gym. She parks down the road, grabs a coffee, films her content for her online coaching business, comes home, sorts some stuff out of the house. By that time, Teddy's woken up, her day started. She gets either A, ready to go see clients, or B, she stays at home and does what she needs to do. So that is honestly like opened up so much time in her life. And like I was going to say, I know it's hard waking up, and I'm exactly like this as well. There's periods of time where I've been like, I hate getting up to an alarm. I hate it. Like when you're in a deep sleep, it's still dark outside, your alarm goes off and you're like, ugh, you just want to snooze it. There's that voice in your head that just wants to snooze it, and you just want to go back to sleep. I want to stay warm. I want to stay in bed with Teddy. I want to stay in bed with Courtney. That's right, Teddy's in our bed by the time we wake up in the morning. Every time, climbs in. Very annoying, but cute at the same time. And but if you just do it, if you just get up within 5-10 minutes or so, you're fully awake, you get your energy, you do your breath work, and then you're like, oh man, I've got so much of the day to seize. Like, lately I've been able to watch sunrises in the morning because the sun comes up a bit later. But like I said, I've been finding that time that I get up is just getting earlier and earlier, because I'm starting to realize that the earlier I get up, the more optimized my day is, the more stuff I get done, the more stress it releases off me, and the better I rest at night, which is another massive aspect of your structure, is knowing when you go to sleep, when you wake up, knowing exactly how much sleep you're going to get. It all ties in. It all reduces stress massively. It all, puts your life in the right direction, and it makes you more well as a person in general. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to get to the gym. Thank you very much.